I just sit up here and took a whole nother loss. My niece lied about the move out date and caused me to sacrifice and lose all my furniture and stuff just because I needed to wait till 7 o'clock the next morning to get a U-Haul in order to move my stuff into the apartment that me and my son was going to move in. But she was so paranoid and lied, talking about it would cost her $700 more if we were still here the next day moving our stuff because the apartment wasn't in her name anymore. So we need to turn the key in that night. So come to find out, the first, which is the same day she said we wasn't supposed to be in there doing nothing, the neighbors tell me her, a baby daddy, and my nephew went back over there last night, which was the same day when nobody's supposed to go back in there. And the office people hadn't even been in there. They went in there and threw away stuff and then gave a lot of my stuff to my neighbor because my neighbor sent me some pictures of the stuff that was in my house that I had to leave behind because I could only get my clothes and my radio and my two TVs, and I had to leave everything else, which is my couch, my bedroom suit, my son's bedroom suit, majority of his clothes. He lost almost all his clothes. Okay, he got his shoes. I got most of my clothes, not all of them, and all my shoes, and just two TVs and a radio, and some pictures like of my mama and stuff. Anyway, and obituaries and Bibles. That's all I can get. Had to leave behind everything else, and we were supposed to move into the apartment the next day, which was the first after we moved out and moved in. Had it all together. But since it's moving in something, if we ain't got nothing to move it in, nothing to move it in the place. So she lied because she went back in the apartment and she still had a key to get in there. If she went in there and threw away some stuff and then gave away some stuff, so they took some stuff. But they gonna sit there and tell us we can't be there to get our stuff out ourselves. Which is saying, then you went back there that night and we would have had our stuff moved that morning. So you lied. Plus my son asked apartment manager, property manager, it was that true? She said, no, we don't do tenants like that. We give them time to move. That's why we're stuff to them. So she lied about all that. Just to go back behind herself and behind us and go back in there and do what she did and caused me to lose everything. And now I'm homeless and don't have nothing. And she know I got everything I got in there with just the clothes on my back and the shoes on my feet. And I'm tired of losing stuff. It's already bad enough for mama, which is my sister, stole my inheritance where I trusted her and signed stuff over, and then she turned around and got in debt after she stole the money from where I signed it at the bank. Oh, my daddy passed away in 2016 with his 401k and credit union and claimed that we didn't get no money because they said my daddy's death was a suicide, which she lied about everything because everything come to pass. And then she turned around and got in the whole $47,000 with some kind of debt she owed. And then she turned around and tricked me into signing she said to be a slash co-owner on the house so she could have somewhere to live at because she couldn't stay in the apartment because she had a bank. She had a bank account then, so she couldn't get saved anymore. So they went up on the rent. That's why I let her stay in the house because my son was there and my niece which had the kids. So he stayed in the house with my mother and daddy left me. That was never supposed to be sold. It's supposed to stay in the house through history. Which if she had gave me my money from when my dad passed in the first place that she lied about, I would have fixed the house up and still been there, and the house would still be in the family and would never go nowhere because I'm the oldest child and my son is the oldest grandchild, and my son is the one found my father dead in the house with his neck with a belt turned around his neck and his hands behind his back, and he had to find his granddaddy like that and was doing CPR on him for 2 hours or an hour till the ambulance got there, and my dad had already been dead for 4 hours. So before he found him dead in the apartment, me in the house. So, and my son told me when he growed up, Now he told me he wrote granddaddy, which is my dad, was crying, and they said the kitchen table, and my daddy didn't write the will. So he had my son write out the will, which he left everything to my son because I was incarcerated. So if something happened to him, evidently he felt it because 4 days after my son wrote out his will for him and how he wanted things, my daddy in a bed, my son found him like that. So, but it didn't get notarized, and he ended up showing my sister and my cousin Tiffany the will, and she kept it and hid it from me, and he never seen it again. And by not being notarized, and he didn't. My daddy's will didn't get valued or appreciated. And no wonder she kept my son over there with her all that time to keep him from telling me the truth. But we end up back together anyway, which we together right now, except for not this minute because we just sit up there and lost everything we had in the apartment. Well, I lost all my stuff, his stuff too, and now we don't have nowhere to live at, and we didn't get to move in another apartment. And then lied and came back and threw away our stuff and kept some stuff and gave away some stuff when they wouldn't even let us get our stuff out of there. On top of me, and then my sister, hold on, I forgot to tell you this. My sister turned around and had me and put my niece and nephew on the deed when she wasn't supposed to do. They had no right. And then she sold the house for $160,000. They automatically took out $166,000. So they took out $40,000 that she owed and was in debt on, and then left with 116. So $57,000 was in my name, Michael Perry, and $19,000 divided three ways is 57. So it was Gabrielle, which is my sister, and Lil Darius and Lakia, which is her older daughter and niece, and daughter and son, which is my niece and nephew, in which they were supposed to be on the deed. She's the youngest child, we're 8 years apart. She had no business putting them on the deed of my estate that got left to me, just because and had no, and then sold the house for not even near what it was worth, and they turned around and sold. We sold the house for $320,000 the next day, which you didn't abide by my dad's will, and you stole and kept away from me, and you manipulated and tricked me into signing things for you to do the right thing by us, but you end up taking everything and let me be homeless. Now I'm homeless again because of your and stuff and things, and you step in and taught your daughter how to do stuff. So this is the fourth time I've trusted all y'all, and which is my own family, and they won't see us with nothing, me and my children. So I need to get revenge, which is do some court action because I never went to court about anything when it came to stuff because she always. I wonder why she used to always tell me, "You almost say you don't like going to court. Yeah, I don't like going to criminal court, but when it's got something to do with the house and stuff when my dad's death and everything right now, I trust with and you and then one of the judges would ask you why come your brother don't show up. So she might have been falsifying my name and got some lawyer to help her with everything. I don't know whatever, but she even the $57,000 that which is half of $116,000 which what was left out of what they took out $40,000 from what she was in debt for, and she had the nerve. I didn't have a bank account, so I let it go in her bank account, and I think I might have utilized maybe close $9,000 of it. So it was a 10,000. So it was like $47,000 more dollars left that belonged to me in her bank account. I didn't get none of that. So you got me all the way around, and that's bad and low down. And I'm going through something again, and you taught your daughter how to do some shit. So this is not cool, and I need to figure out and find out who gonna help me with this stuff because I need to. I know it says vengeance is mine, says the Lord, I shall pray, don't do evil, but I need to get some people that know the law, and I need to find out what I can do because this ain't right. Judge Judah. How about that?